Hello, hello, hello. It is me, Michelle, and that is what my meadow used to look like. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. I'm Michelle, and welcome back to my meadow. I think I just said that. It is April 2025. And let's see, today is April 6th. So we're the first Sunday in April. And my goal has always been, since I started doing lives, to go live on the very first Sunday of each month. And I hope to do even more. But I kind of got out of my schedule sync, and you guys have been great about encouraging me. I had a death in the family and then 2 surgeries. So it's just been a little mixed up. So as you're coming in tonight, please say hello. Let us know that you're here. Let us know where you're growing on. And I'm excited to be here with you tonight. Well, hey there, Kay. Welcome. Sawadee-ka. Good to see you here tonight. Michelle Urban, good to see you here tonight. Hello, hello, hello. It is so fun to be here with you guys. It's so funny. I get set up for these, and we're going to talk about my background in just a minute. But I get set up for these, and all of a sudden I want to cough. I don't know why. So forgive me as I take a sip here and try to. It really is hilarious every time, and get everything settled in while we get a few more folks coming into the live. If you're here on YouTube, say hello. And if you're on Facebook, say hello. We'd love to know where you're watching from in the world. I think one of the cool things I like about being able to go live is it's really the one time we get to have this level of interaction. I mean, if you follow me on Facebook, then you can always make comments and we can have a sort of a back and forth there, share pictures and things like that every once in a while. Wanda did that last week, shared some of her gardening adventures there. But on YouTube, they just don't make that possible. And so I like being able to be live with y'all tonight, because you guys can ask questions. We can talk about what's growing on in the meadow and all those other fun things. Well, hey, Stephen from Indiana. I hope that you are doing great tonight. Are the kids playing on the floor? I promise I will be good. I promise I will be good. I try to make sure that this is a family-friendly get together. That's important to me. And Stephen, frankly, I never really thought about it until you mentioned it on a live sometime last year. And so thank you for reminding me that we have viewers of all ages and all ears can be watching. And so that I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot. The funniest thing is, during one of my other lives, I told you all that I found this packet here, and it is from Successful Seeds. And so not yet, in a little bit, we'll get that opened up, because it's from 2021 and I have absolutely no idea what's in here. This seed packet is older than my YouTube channel. So there we go. And then I have some more things. I don't know if I was, shopping while under the influence of anesthesia, but have a few more things to open, a couple of which I have zero recollection of ordering. Zero recollection of ordering. And so I don't know if you all have that challenge or not. Excuse me, I have my cooler box here. I am still recovering from knee surgery, so I wanted to make sure I had some ice packs so I don't have to run around and try to gather those while trying to be in the middle of a live. But first thing I want to show you actually is I am going to scooch out of the way here. I'm going to try it. Well, let's see if I can scooch the chair out of the way. I want you to look over my shoulder here, because I have now been gardening here on this property for 6 years. And this here is my very first garden that I had here. In fact, some of the things, look over here, some of the things were still in pots here. Let me move the microphone out of the way. Some of the things were still in pots here. And so those were my first Gabbera daisies. I have, I think those might be pansies. I'm not positive on that. Some mums, I think, chrysanthemums right there, or maybe marigolds. But this is what the meadow used to look like in the very beginning. I just have the one bird feeder here, and I think, or I'm not sure what that is, but yeah, so it used to just be this little thing. And then 6 years later, and a bunch of woods that got chopped down. Oh, I remember when this picture was taken. We had trees taken down, and I told them, oh, just leave the debris. It'll be all right. Don't do that. Don't do that. Trust me, you don't want to do that. Well, hello, Kimberly Barton. It's good to see you here tonight as well. So aside from it being the anniversary or the anniversary month of when I started gardening here, it's also, let me put my mic, and can y'all hear me okay? Everything good? It's also the anniversary of when I uploaded my first YouTube video to the Michelle in the Meadow channel. And so that just seems to blow my mind that 3 years have passed. And in fact, I did a video earlier this week. If you want to go back and watch that, I said 3 years ago, the raised bed question that started it all. And so we now have 20 filled raised garden beds and three that are assembled and not filled, and probably about 3 or 4 others that are waiting on me to assemble and review and fill up and figure out what I'm going to do with them. And I bought some garden beds for Mom as well. You guys have seen Mom's secret garden a few times on the channel. And so she has some different beds in her yard as well. And so we have really gotten into the raised bed lifestyle, so to speak. So Kay said 20 is a lot to take care of. Yes. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I am not growing in all of them right now. I've shared this a couple of times. I may have already said it today. I have to tell you, the one thing about having anesthesia, it does kind of mess with your recall a little bit. And even though I am a good 7 weeks, I think I'm 7 weeks out from surgery, there's still stuff I'm a little wacky on, but I'm taking on what I can. And so right now we have, out of those 20 beds, we have 2 beds that are fully planted out of those 20. So that means I'm 10% done filling up the bed. Actually, three. So 3 out of 20, what is that? 15% of the beds are, no, that math's not right. Is it? Anyway, 3 out of 20 are filled. And so I am very grateful for that. And so in the one really small bed, I shared this video, I think last week, we have some tomatoes growing. And then in the other bed, it's nice because it was planted out last year as sweet potatoes. And I discovered that they did not do very well in growing. So I just cut back the vines as much as I could and let them be. And then they just overwintered in the ground and green is popping up again. And so I need to amend that bed, but it will be ready. I'm going to do that this week. I've been studying up on amending for sweet potatoes because I learned something. I learned something new and interesting about sweet potatoes. I am pretty sure I get a mix from a fella who has a company called Overalls, and they deliver out to my area and they make their magic mix. But I have a feeling, because they're mostly growing, I'm assuming a lot of people are growing, peppers, tomatoes, those kind of things. I have a feeling the mix is probably a little nitrogen hot. And for sweet potatoes to get potatoes and not just greens, your soil, according to the research I've done, I've seen competing answers and different answers. It seems that you want a higher P and K than you do an N in your soil. And so I plan to amend that bed so that I can, so that I have a higher P and K, which what I'll do is I will put in probably a potash as part of it and a bone meal as part of it. But I've got to get the ratios right because I don't want to be too heavy. From what I read, you should have 1 part nitrogen to 2 parts potassium. Is that right? And no, phosphorus, and 2 parts potassium, whichever order that's in NPK. And so I am excited to get those because I I haven't grown big potatoes yet. I keep growing a lot of greens and I never have really, really big potatoes even after a year. And so it's got to be what I'm using for fertilizer. And so, and not that there's anything wrong with the magic mix because I grow a lot of other stuff fabulously. I just think I need a little more of the other letters to make it work. Let's take a look at a couple of question here. Let's see. Show this. Stephen wants to know if I would share what brands of raised garden beds I purchased with this time. So in the garden, we have a number of brands. For the most part, when I am buying new beds, the corrugated beds, I have been buying the Birdie's beds mostly. I just like them. I like that they are coming out of Australia. I like that I'm supporting a smaller US based business. It just makes me very happy to support Epic Gardening. And Epic Gardening has been very supportive of my channel and me, even allowing me to go out to Kevin's property when I was in, I had a trip planned to California and they let me plan time in to come and visit with Kevin. And so I have supported their company a lot. I have not bought, and I've also bought Vego in the past. So I bought some Vego beds. But I would say most of what I have are Birdies. But Mom, I bought beds for Mom that are a Vego bed because it was a particular style she wanted. And so it really just does come down to getting what you want and getting the types of things that you want from the bed. And so so that hopefully that helps. Hopefully that helps with that. Kay says, I wish they would make a 17-inch height. Yeah, something just a little bit taller. I have one Birdies that is a lower one, but I think they're 15 if I remember. They're 15. So, but like I said, I have tomatoes, and then in the second bed I have the sweet potatoes, and in the third bed, and my cousin and his family came over to visit, and I had soaked up some sunflower seeds for the kids to help me plant. And so the kids planted out what was the raccoon bed, and we'll have sunflowers in there this season because I just won't be able to move it, and I didn't want to grow food in there. So I figured at least I'd be growing something and maybe have some pretties up at the front of the house. I have no idea if these are giant sunflowers or small sunflowers. I literally took the sunflower seeds that you get to put in your bird feeder, the black oil sunflower seeds. I took those. I took a big handful of those and scooped them up and let them soak in water overnight. And now we have some seedlings popping up. Let's see. I set this up so I could share and not be as goofy as I sometimes am. I appreciate that y'all don't mind me being too goofy, but let's see here. So let me know if you guys, oh yeah, you can see that. So this is the beginning of sunflowers popping up in this bed. And then also in this bed are some spiderwort. Now I took this picture at night or actually towards dusk. It was kind of interesting to me. They don't have any of the the purple flowers are all closed. I need to go back out at dusk. I don't know. I think that these must close up at night. This particular day, it was about to rain. And so I didn't know if maybe they closed up because of the rain, but I'm going to go check again, probably tomorrow night, since I won't be out. I'll be here with you. I want to go see. I think they close up at night. So it's not as lovely in this picture, but I was just fascinated by that fact. So that was kind of cool. And so those are the 3 beds I have planted. Now you asked, Michelle Urban says, I have 2 Birdie's beds and I have the tall ones. My knees don't like to bend anymore. Girl, I feel you. I feel you, especially now that I have one replaced. I have to tell you this. We'll talk about that another time. I don't want to get in a rant about knee replacement surgery. It ain't for sissies. That's all I'm going to tell you. It ain't for sissies. But, what I did do, and so the next plan, before we get to the mystery seed packet, I can't get up and get the box, but I did open it up here because the next bed that I'm putting together is going to be, it is a Vego bed. I already have it in the Meadow. I'm sharing this again, but let me go here. let's see if this works. Oh, no, it did not. It did not change screens. Let me stop my screen and let's try again. There we go. Oh, I see what I'm doing wrong. Okay, there we go. I'm sharing my tab instead of the window. So I have a Vego bed, the original Vego bed, and I ordered this for, I think, no, 2x6, 3.5x5. I think this is the one here. So I ordered the system here with the, oh, it didn't change pictures, sorry, with the netting to go over the bed and the watering system. And so I'm looking forward to seeing how this works out. And I do know what is in one of the envelopes, and that one is not a mystery because I actually ordered this right after our last live because of our friend Habitual Hobbies. And now I can't find it. Ha ha. I got all these other envelopes, but not that one. So it was from Johnny Seeds, and it is going to be a, I am setting it up with the netting and with the misting because I purchased some parthenocarpic. If I didn't say that right, feel free to correct me in the comments. Seeds, cucumber seeds, which means that I can amend the bed, plant the seeds, cover them up. They are self-pollinating. They do not need pollinators. And then I can leave the cover on and hopefully for several years be able to harvest a whole lot of cucumbers because we eat cucumbers all the time. Like that is like the thing that is always on the grocery list here. And last year I did better with cucumbers than I had before, but this year I'm hoping to do even better. The only thing I haven't figured out with it is what kind of a little trellis I'm going to do in there. I would welcome any in the comments. I would welcome if you guys have an idea of how I could put in a small trellis or something. I thought even about trimming down a cattle panel and maybe going this way inside and growing the cucumbers up and across so I could just open and reach in, let them drop down, and I could just pull them out sort of at, eyeball height or something like that. If you have any suggestions, I would greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate those. Let me grab another sip of drink here. I cannot believe of all the seeds I got, the one I wanted to talk about first, I forgot. Oh, well. This channel, as you guys know, is perfection at its finest. I'm sorry, imperfection at its finest. I try not to sweat the small stuff. One of the other challenges I've had, and I don't know what's going on, is I keep trying. I've tried to make some YouTube shorts, and so I'll be out there. We can't see my phone because I have a green back on my phone. I get out there with my phone. Everything looks fine. I edit the video on my phone. I'm getting ready to post it, and all of the parts are upside down. They're right side up on my phone. They're right side up during the editing process. But then when the final video publishes, all of it's upside down. I don't know if I've just done something funny with the rotation or not. So I've got to try that again. I've had that happen 3 different times. And so I don't know if any of you have YouTube channels or have had that experience. I would welcome that as well. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Next order of business is I have a very belated thank you. And worse, the card got separated from this gift, but I am 90% sure that this is from Julie, who joins us on the channel. And so Julie made loofah soap, and it's shaped like a little heart. And I didn't open it yet to use it because I was waiting to say thank you on a live for the gift. That was very generous of you. I'm very appreciative of that. So if I'm wrong and it's not Julie, then it might be Aunt Jenny's. And so it's either Aunt Jenny's and Julie. Thank you very much for thinking of me. And I'm sorry that I got the card separated from the gift. But thank you for sending that. That's very sweet and very kind. So, taking a look here, let's see what Kay says here about the trellis. I did cattle panels and used 2 sides to make triangles and just laid the panels on the surface. Hey, no, that's an interesting idea. Just make it V-shaped. That is certainly a possibility. I'm going to figure out what's going to be best out there and see. I have to put it all together first and see. One one of the questions, and through the years, do I like Vigo or Birdies better? And I already shared why I often support Birdies more frequently. There is a reason also too, is for a while there, and it seems to be a little better now. Vego was doing such a great job marketing themselves, nothing was in stock. And so when I wanted to get something, it was going to be a 2-month wait or a 4-month wait. And as a gardener, I'm just not that patient. I'm not thinking about next gardening season. And so that got a little frustrating early on. I think that they have a little better of that under control, but I would go to Kevin's site and stuff would be in stock. And so, that was the other side of that on the Birdies. I do have, of the different brands of beds I have in the garden, I do have Vego. I have a Forever garden bed. I have a Garden in Minutes bed. I have the Cedar Line beds from Epic Gardening. I have a bed that was made locally. And I shared this in the 3-year video, that after we made that bed was about the time that COVID came around and the price of lumber went up. And so it wasn't practical anymore. It wasn't cheaper for me to have a bed built or to build a bed. It was actually more expensive for the cedar and the galvanized panels than it was to order the Birdies and the Vego bed, which is how that even started. So, funny how that works, huh? Michelle, Michelle's talking about the upside down. I don't know what's going on, Michelle, but I am going to, I have a Samsung as well. So I don't know, maybe I just had rotation on. I didn't realize that I had flipped it just a little too much or something, but I will definitely find out. So let's see now what's in some of these envelopes. When I say envelopes, I do mean envelopes. Oh, sorry, I dropped one here. Envelopes. We already talked about the Vego system. This is from Vego, so this is probably part of the Mr. system that's there. Oh, Stephen, thank you so much. Yes, if you all want to order anything from Birdies or Vego, or from Epic or Vego, I'll put that link down below. Thank you so much, Stephen, for that. And you get, it helps support the channel, it helps support what we do here. And it also gets you a discount. So it's a win-win. So if you order anything from Epic Gardening, you want to use the code Meadow, and that will save you 5%. And I should have put coupon code with that. That will save you 5% on your order at Epic Gardening. And they will, or at least they have been stacking the 5% on top of whatever sale they have. I don't know if that will always be that way, but that's what they have been doing. And I do know I don't know. Based on past experience, around Memorial Day, they have a giant sale. So if you were thinking about garden beds, and they're doing more sales, I think they're sort of moving into the same model that a lot of the other gardening companies are doing, where they have everything's on sale. This is on sale. That's on sale. I think you have to do that to compete in the market. But they are having, they did have in the past, for the past 2 or 3 years, Memorial Day sales, and they were good sales. One year was buy 3, get 1 free. I think they did 25% off one year. I think they did 30% off one year or something like that. And so then the coupon code stacked on top of that. You also can just go to michelleinthemeadow.com/epic to shop at Epic Gardening. And And they have, and then if you want to shop at Vigo, I tried to make this easy. Michelle in the Meadow /VEGO. And then if you're interested in that garden in minutes, hope this is okay, guys. I'll just share all this since Stephen asked, and I'm grateful. That is Michelle in the Meadow.com /GIM for garden in minutes. And so there are all those there for you as well. Is Memorial Day a bigger sale than Black Friday? They haven't told us yet what or if there will be a Memorial Day sale. And I don't have the historical data on that. I just don't remember. I had unexpected surgery in November. So I did not do as much of the promotion on Black Friday of this year, but I would say they are probably close. But they're going to I can't imagine they wouldn't do something since they've been doing it historically. I shouldn't be putting my foot in my mouth. But I am an affiliate. I do get paid a commission when y'all order through my links, but I don't always have the inside scoop until they tell us what's growing on over there for any sales and stuff. But I still think both sales, those are honestly, if you have the time to wait and you want to get as much as you can for the money, those are probably the two best times of year to do it, as Memorial Day and Black Friday. Truth be told. Now, that doesn't mean they don't have other sales in between, or they have clearances, or they have different things going on, or they're bringing new beds in, or they're doing a trial or a test. But in my 3 years of doing this, those have been the times that they've been at the best. Does that make sense? Hopefully that helps. Vego does not provide me a coupon code, and I don't have a coupon code for Garden in Minutes either, unfortunately. So another reason that I like being able to share, because girl likes a bargain, right? Girl likes a bargain. I bet y'all do too. So getting back to these seeds here. All right. Thank you, Michelle. Appreciate that. Getting back to these seeds here. Which one should I open first? Do you want to know what was in the oldest packet, or what's from M.I. Gardner that I don't remember ordering at all? Which one should I open first between those two? Let me know that in the comments. We got Successful Seeds and M.I. Gardner. I found my handy dandy opener, so I'm excited about that. The older seeds, all right? All right, Michelle, you got it. The tribe has spoken. I forget that there is a little bit of a delay from the time I say something until the time that you all can see it and have a chance to respond. So sorry about that. I have to remember that there is this itty bitty delay. So, okay, we have 2 for oldest packet. Anybody else want to weigh in? Going once, going twice. Here we go. So this is from Successful Seeds, and they're in Bellflower, California. Let's find out what's in here. And wait, before I open that, I just want to tell you, I don't know if your house is anything like mine. Here is one of my seed containers. The top is green, you can't see that. Where I keep big types of seeds, big stuff that won't fit in the other one. And I have this. So I'm not sure I actually even have any business ordering seeds, though I know that over time they do start to lose their efficacy. So this is okay. Now I'm going to be, I hope that these seeds are still good, because Successful Seeds is an Etsy store. And let's just take a look at these one at a time. Oh my gosh. I wondered what happened to these. Excuse me. Now I actually remember ordering these. So this is, let me see if I can do this gently so it can focus in. This is turkey berry. This is turkey berry. And those are some tiny seeds. Turkey berry is something that we use to make curry. And so I wanted to see if we could basically grow our own curry. And so they really do look a lot like, let me see if I can pull it up. Let's see if we can multitask here and do this. And I'm going, some things that I know you will know what are. I know that Kay, if Kay is still with us, Kay probably knows what turkey berry is. So it's got to be, oh, it is a nightshade. I was going to say, it looks like it's probably in the nightshade family. Let's pull this window up again. Share screen, share window. There we go. So turkey berry, I thought so. Just looking at the seed, I thought it might be in the Solemn family. Looks like an eggplant seed right there. It looks like an eggplant flower. It really does look like an eggplant. And here's what they look like. And this is what is used to make curries. And so that is what a turkey berry is. So that's one. Next, I'm going to leave this. Let's see, stop screen. Next is culantro, not cilantro. So this is basically Vietnamese cilantro. I'll show you what that looks like. Culantro, if you go and eat at a Vietnamese restaurant and you have pho, you order pho. This is what culantro looks like. Let's see if I can pull up something closer. This is what culantro looks like. And so that goes into pho and other dishes, but we mostly would use it in pho. And so this is what this is my Asian garden I was going to start that I forgot all about these seeds. So there is that. Then I think I'm just going to leave it up so I can easily show you what they are without having to change the screen around. The next one is Yu Choi Sum. Yu Choi Sum. So Kay, hang on, let me open this up for Kay here. Kay, what did you just get done planting? Culantro or turkey berry? Culantro or turkey berry? I'd love to know that. That would be fun. So Yu Choi Sum, let's pull that up. Oh yeah. This is the good stuff. This is the good stuff here. So this is kind of like a broccolini. It is in the brassica families. So kind of like a broccolini. This makes an amazing stir fry. In fact, you can kind of see some of the dishes. They make that with garlic and a brown sauce. So Kay said she just planted cilantro. Right. Cilantro is definitely a more solid flavor than cilantro. I don't think of them as interchangeable at all. So, but here, this makes up into a stir fry. Look at this one, hot chili oil on it. Now I am going to be very hungry after seeing that. Yay. Now I just hope that they're 4 years old, that I'll get some germination. Next, I have a free gift, which is kind of cool, which this one is a little more well-known. Is kohlrabi. I keep trying to show it to my screen over there. I don't know why I'm not showing the camera. So kohlrabi right here. And you guys probably know kohlrabi. Kind of this turnip looking vegetable. I've not ever grown it before, so I just want to grow it and see what that's like. But this was a free gift that I didn't even know I was going to get. So the second free gift that I got was beet. Everybody knows beets, so I'm not going to look that up, but I do always like looking at beet. Beet seeds are so funny looking and they're so huge. They're really big compared to the other types of things. And then last in this oldest one is Thai chili. And based on the picture that's in my little sheet here, based on that picture, I look like it's the ones that I want to have. I have tried the bird's eye chili, but the bird's eye chilies, I just pulled them out because they were too tiny. And so this is a Thai hot ornamental. That was the bird's eyes. They were too tiny, but these are a little bit bigger, probably something more like this, more along this line or more along this line. And we use those in all kinds of cooking. Um, we will for those who are new. I don't think anybody here is the first time. My wife is Asian. My mother-in-law is Asian, and the Thai chili is just a part of everything you eat. But we will actually take the Thai pepper. Typically, often it's green. Eat it fresh, and we dip it in shrimp paste and eat it along with the meal, like a little, like you might add hot sauce on a dish. This is like you take a little bit of this, dip it in something super salty, and take a bite. And so it is very, they can be very spicy, and it is kind of rolling the dice because you can hit a Thai pepper that's not terribly spicy, and you can hit some that are just crazy, and you don't really always know. There is a, at least in my family, this belief, and I think it might be cultural, that your cooking and the spice in your food comes from your attitude. So if you are very happy and you were so happy making a meal and you're just joyful about it, you need a whole lot of peppers in order to make it a spicy meal, because your affect will influence the flavor. And so you have to put a lot of peppers. But if you're angry and you're just over it and you're cooking and you're upset, one Thai pepper just might be enough to kill everybody. And so I have had a time when Mom made something for me, and she sent it over, and I thought I was eating a green bean. I thought I was eating a green bean. It was just sliced, and I just took a bite. It was not. It was not. It was a long green Thai chili pepper, and I ate the whole thing in a solid bite. And I really was certain. I had to call her later when I could speak again, and it took a while. When I could speak again, I called her and asked her if she was trying to kill me, and she said, "Why?" I said, "I thought you sent me like a green bean stir fry." I said, I found the pepper." She goes, and this, y'all, I tell you this because she goes, "Oh my God, that's the only one I put in the entire pot." Thanks, Mom. I don't know if she was mad for cooking for me or not, but anyway. Hey, Jack, welcome. Glad you could join us. Glad to have you here. Jack, you've just missed me opening some old seeds. I'm going to go back over them real quick just because there are some of those were pretty unique. So we have turkey berry, Thai chili. The turkey berry is for making curries. We have cilantro. We have yu choy sum. And then 2 free gifts, 1 beet and 1 kohlrabi. And I bought these in 2021 and they got lost in the house. And now I can really start my Asian garden. And that really does actually make me pretty happy. All the things here I can start now. There's nothing in there that I can't start this season. Well, of the Asian stuff. So that is pretty cool. Let me gather a quick sip here. All right. Okay. So next, let's see what I ordered from M.I. Gardner. Based on the postmark date, this appears to be shipped right after I had surgery. I don't remember ordering anything from M.I. Gardner at all. I don't have anything against M.I. Gardner. I just don't remember ordering anything. And so let's find out what I ordered during my recuperation week. Oh, this is funny. This was funny. Let's see what we have here. Oh, okay. That clears it up. Okay. So I ordered these through Vego Garden when I ordered the other stuff, and they were shipped out by MI Gardner. So they must have a partnership with MI Gardner. And so here I have Moneymaker tomatoes. The green screen makes this harder, doesn't it? I have Moneymaker tomatoes, and I have Aunt Molly's ground cherry. So I am excited to try these. One of the things that I wonder about this, I'm going to read this to you. This is an indeterminate. This Polish heirloom is sweet as candy. It's a sweet, tart, and savory. A combination of flavors from a tomatillo to a slight pineapple is the best of both worlds. Plants produce heavy yields of small husk-covered fruit that fall to the ground at full ripeness, and they are perfect for making jellies, jams, and more. Well, I will tell you, now that I have read that, this just might be really good to make another Thai dish. I don't know how to even write it in English. Kay may know, but we make something called jale, which is basically a Thai salsa paste. It's thicker than salsa, but you take tomatoes. You can take some sour tomatoes, some sweet tomatoes, and you cook them down and you beat them down with. I think they do it in we call it a coke. We might the Thai folks call it kok, and we would call it a mortar and pestle. And you beat everything down and you blend it up with all kind of other spices. And we just eat it on top of rice. We eat it with everything. But since these are sweet and savory together, I might have to see. I'm sure it's going to be prolific like like the tomatillo. And so we're gonna test this with Mom. Mom, if you are watching, if you're here with us, we're gonna try some of these this year for making jail. Excellent. Jack says it will. Yes, Jack, it will be interesting to see if they grow. I think that, they've been stored in the house. And so they haven't really ever been stored hotter than 77 degrees, but probably less than that just because they've been tucked away. And for most of the time they've been, well, this envelope was lost in the back of a closet. And so it was even cooler than that. So cool. So that from MI Gardner. Now I'm not as confused about that. That was funny. That's great. I am so glad that these different companies can work together. I think that we have so many opportunities to support one another and to encourage one another. Another gardener that I am enjoying watching a lot as well is One Mellow Marigold. If you haven't seen Casey's channel, Casey moved from the city to a farm 2 years ago and is just taking it all on. And last week, I think it was last week, she ended up with some mice with a mouse problem. And so she did this little series of Mousegate 2025. It was hilarious on top of that. So it's kind of fun to let loose just a little bit. So now we've got MI Gardner. Now let's look and see what's the next oldest. Now this one is from Pan Asia Heirloom. They are also on Etsy, and I have ordered from them before. I actually ordered this before my surgery. I don't remember everything I ordered, but I know I didn't forget this one. This other one is from Epic Gardening in September. So let's go with the next oldest one next. And so checking everything here. Well, sure, Michelle. I'm going to be clever here, aren't I? There we go. Now I'll get it. Just easier than ripping with my fingers. Let's see what I think I know what's in here. I think I'm remembering now. I think, aha. Oh, well, this will be interesting. I also ordered some quick snack. Let's put it there. I don't know how. Well, quick snack cucumbers, which are designed to grow in 6 to 8 inch pots on a sunny windowsill or countertop or balcony. And these are also parthenocarpic. Parthenocarpic. So that's cool. I'm going to have 2 different Parthenocarpic varieties going. Maybe I will plant these in one of my other birdies beds and see how they grow and see if I can get them covered up as well. So yay for that. And I do appreciate these little booklets that are included with botanical interest. So, and then I also got a free packet of seeds, a thank you seed of some mesclun lettuce. And so, oh, thank you pack. So lettuce mesclun. So excellent. Yay. Yay. I don't know if that lettuce, I haven't grown lettuce very successfully here yet outdoors. Mostly I have grown it when I was doing microgreens. Right at the beginning of this channel, I was working on microgreens, but the room in our home I was using to grow indoors is currently occupied by someone that is living with us, and so I don't have a microgreen space right now that's climate controlled. Excuse me for just a second here. Let me grab another sip of water. Sparkling water. I should ask you guys. Maybe you would know. Maybe you'll know. I like drinking the caffeinated sparkling water, but I can't find anyone who has it that isn't sweetened with a sucralose or something. I want it unsweetened, but with caffeine. So if you guys know of any, please let me know down in the comments. So next we have Pan Asia Heirloom. They are on Etsy. I have ordered from them before, and I have been very pleased. With what I've been able to grow from them. They've all turned out very well. Kay said she'll be interested to see how the cucumber tastes. Me too. Oh, I could have a cucumber taste off. I like it. We'll have a cucumber taste off with these 2 Parthenocarpic varieties. But my wife literally slices up a cucumber with her breakfast every day if we have it. And so she would slice more if we could get more. It's very tough. We do a lot of grocery delivery instead of going, especially right now. And when you're using one of the services, they do okay. But for some reason, on a consistent basis, we have a hard time getting somebody to pay attention to cucumbers when they're picking them at the store. And so we often get cucumbers that are just mushy over. I don't mean once. I mean like 60% of the time. And so it's very frustrating. So we're excited to do that. So, okay, let's see what we have here. I think I'm going to share the screen again because some of these are going to be different than maybe some of the things that you have grown. This first one is, well, this one you'll probably know, Roselle hibiscus. And so you can make teas with this. I think a couple of you probably grow this. You can make teas with this. They make really pretty bushes. My goal for this, y'all promise not to tell on me, but I'm hoping I have these loropetalum at the front of the house. And these have these pretty purple looks on them. I really kind of want to slowly replace the loropetalum with the hibiscus as a hedge because I think it would look beautiful and be edible and be useful all at the same time. So Michelle is growing Roselle too. Did I get that right? It's you make tea with it. It's in the okra is in the same family. You get these beautiful flowers, right? So cool. Next. Okay. Thank you, Michelle. Appreciate that. Next is, I don't know what it is. I think I know what this is. I'm going to have to look it up. Look at the shape of these seeds. Actually, I'm going to stop sharing so you can see the shape of these seeds. This is Nam Tao Yo. I believe that this is a large type of smooth loofah or bitter melon. See if I got this right. Yep, yep. Bottle gourd. It is a bottle gourd. So let me show you what these look like. So these are bottle gourds, and they grow pretty big. And they're used in soups. They're used in a variety of ways. But I ordered these. There's a lot in here. I ordered these for Mom because she said she'd like them, but I think she would share a few seeds with me. I might plant a couple of these to see what we get those. But they are an edible gourd. These are not ones that, I mean, I guess you could grow it out and do something, like turn it into a birdhouse or something, but it's not a birdhouse gourd. It really is an edible gourd. And they get, up to 2 feet long. I don't know if they're as good when they're that big, but they do grow big. Then I have something here, and this must be a very, very expensive, seed. This is a sun cherry F1. Look how few seeds there are in there. So a sun cherry F1. Let's see here. Sun cherry F1 tomato. Okay. Yeah, nice. We love us some good. Actually, this is funny. This is a listing for Pan Asian heirloom. That's hilarious. We love cherry tomatoes here, and so I'm excited to try different varieties. I have some that I bought at the store, some sweet 100s that are delicious. They're in the garden already, so we'll do some succession planting in another group of these. So that's good. Then next is pak choi, and pak choi is probably something that you all know. You've seen it if you've gone to the Asian restaurant. So this one is a dwarf canton pak choi, and it's just this nice little vegetable here. They make a great stir fry. They're just delicious. So they're just delicious, and it's a great dish to grow. I don't know if they're going to grow as well this time of year, being in the cabbage family, but we're going to give it a try and see what happens. And then finally, in this packet, I think is this the last packet of seeds here I have? Asian wing beans. And so I talk about these a lot. This is probably my favorite thing to grow. They are just beautiful. They look lovely. They make delicious. They're delicious raw. They are delicious. Oh, look at this. Another one of these. You can cut them and they look really fun in the dish when you eat them. We've also made tempura with them. The little ones we chop up and put in a salad, and they are really delicious. The challenge with the wing beans is they take a long time to germinate, And so soaking them first matters. The soil needs to be at least 70 degrees. And I just found out how to find that out other than sticking a thermometer in the soil. It needs to be at least 70 degrees. And I have read this week, if you have never grown beans in that location before, you need an inoculant. And so I have ordered from True Leaf, which I've ordered seeds from True Leaf before. I have a good bit of seeds from True Leaf. I have ordered an inoculant, a mycorrhizal inoculant for the seeds. And it supposedly helps the transfer of nitrogen into the bed and back into the plant go better. So I'm excited to that. Stephen said they look fun. They are fun. They're fun to talk about. They're fun to grow. And if you're in a climate where you can do it, I would say they're worth the garden space because of how prolific they are. Pick early, eat them often. Just, you don't have to wait for them to get really big. I mean, this long. It's a nice bean and it's a tasty bean. If you let them get too big, they get too hard. So I like to get them while they're still fairly flimsy and flexible. So how do they taste? They taste like a fresh bean. They don't taste exactly like green beans per se, but they're a mild bean. They're very mild tasting. And so we really do use them in a lot of dishes. And because of their fun shape, I think I showed this here, because of their fun shape, when you do slice them, sort of like this is, I'll open this up. Let's see if this, nope, did not share to the other window. Let's go back. Let's share this tab instead. There we go. You can see here, open image and new tab. Let's see if it's a bigger picture. Move out of the way. Nope, not bigger. Just trying to make that a little bigger for y'all. There we go. You can kind of see, well, I got to share this tab instead, don't I? Look at me. Kind of see, they just look really interesting on the dish because you get kind of a, when you slice them on the bias, they get a nice little diagonal pattern on them. So, but they taste delicious and we eat them all summer long. I've made the mistake of letting them go too long and then they're stringy. They're not as good. I would early, often young. And I have a whole bed that I do just these beans in up front because they just really take over, which is really great. And so this is, 5 plants is enough to grow all that you could probably eat in a small family. If you have a big family, I have tried freezing them and put them up. They aren't as good once they've been frozen, because I can't do a flash freeze like the folks at Bird's Eye. And so they're not as good because they're so fleshy, but I will say fresh, eat them regularly. They're just really a nice, mild flavor. I eat them raw. I'll eat them as a garden snack when I'm out there. So, or chop them up in a salad, and it gives you a nice crunch in a salad. So I'm gushing about Asian wing beans because I really do love them. What are your most favorite things that you grow that you have to grow every year? Tell me. I would love to see that in the comments. While you write that up, I'm going to reach over here and put an ice pack on my knee. Give me just a second here. Forgive me. There we go. All right. Michelle said peppers. What kind of peppers, Michelle? Are you growing spicy peppers? Are you growing like bell peppers, which are all wonderful? Oh, actually, you know what? I don't have it fully planted out. I do have a 4th bed partially planted with some beefsteak tomatoes and California Wonder peppers. So I bought some starts right before I had my surgery because I said, at least I can have some peppers and tomatoes if I can't get out here after my surgery as much as I would like. So Michelle says peppers. Jack says Praxis cherry tomatoes and cabbage collards always. Cabbage collard sounds good. Do the cabbage collards do okay through the summer here? Jack, let me know that. Michelle says that bell peppers, snacking peppers, and spicy peppers. Ooh, all the good peppers. Yummy, yummy, yummy. That sounds delicious. I do like those little ones. I think you see them in the store from a company called Pero Farms. I think that's probably what you're talking about as a snacking pepper. So it's about the size of a jalapeno, but it's a mini sweet pepper, something like that. Those are very tasty as well. I do like those. I have not grown those yet. I keep saving seeds from them, but I don't know where the seeds are because I just save them and they end up in other places. So, oh, good. Thank you. Thank you for that clarification, Michelle. They end up in other places, but it is really, it is just nice to like be back into some routine. I'm getting up in the mornings now. I'm able to get outside for a little bit every morning. I'm just working on one bed at a time. I can't make myself crazy. I'm trying to make videos as I'm able to do so. I had some other weird camera problem, like either the battery was bad or it wouldn't take a charge. And so I had to get some more batteries. And anyway, it's the life of a YouTuber. There's always a little bit of a thing to overcome. But now that I'm off my walker, at least I can have a cane in one hand and a tripod in the other. And so I go marching around the yard like this. My neighbors just must really think it's hilarious. That's okay. That's okay. In regards to the cabbage flower. Jack said that they do grow year round. Oh, I do remember seeing that your video yesterday, Jack, that you have one that is flowering so it can go to seed and you can get some seeds off of that. That is fantastic. That is fantastic. Yeah, cool. Michelle says yummy orange and chocolate snacker. Ooh, a chocolate snacker. That sounds interesting. That I like chocolate, so that sounds very interesting. I mean, chocolate isn't chocolate like one of the food groups? I don't want to try to grow my own cacao or anything here, by the way, and make my own chocolate. I'm not that brave. So for those of you who came in a little bit later, if you look behind me, you may notice that this meadow doesn't look like the meadow you're used to seeing on the calendar, on the TV, not the TV, on YouTube. Because this is what my meadow looked like 6 years ago. And so that's my first garden there. I thought I'd share that at the end. And so this is what my first garden looked like. I had some flowers started. Eventually I moved into grow bags and then eventually got my first raised bed. And now it's just raised bed pandemonium out there. So, Jack told me that he eats the radish seed pods. And so I asked him how he prepared them. And he said he just eats them as a garden snack. When I say a garden snack, I literally mean wiping your hands off, grabbing something and eating it while you're walking around the garden. And so that's what he said. He pops them in. So he tried them in the air fryer and they didn't do as well. Just probably are they just too small? Is it just it just heats up too much, too fast, probably? So Kimberly Barton said she is also growing Roselle her first try. This will be my first try too, but if I could get them growing, well, I'm assuming, well, obviously I can start them in buckets. You buy things from the nursery in buckets and stuff. I think I want to try to start them in buckets and get them up to a decent size before I put them in the ground or replace any of the loropetalum that's out front. I mean, it's a pretty plant, but it just doesn't do anything but look pretty, and it doesn't do much for the pollinators. And so I want to have more and more pollinators in the yard. We have, even though we're in the city, we're not terribly far from a honey, some hives. And so probably as the crow flies, maybe a mile, no, not even that far, maybe half a mile to where some bees have hives. And so I love with the African blue basil and the bee balm. I made a video about the bee balm this week. I say I'm rescuing bee balm from around my yard, spotted bee balm from around the yard, because I just want more and more pollinators in the yard, because the more I have, even the ones that eat my stuff, the more I have, the better chance that I have to grow more food for all the efforts that I'm putting in. So, excellent. Jack says he thinks they were too long. Yeah, stick to snacks. That works. That works. It's always about learning stuff here. It is always about learning stuff. Well, I know I usually go on a little bit longer. We kind of hang out a little bit longer because I am icing my knee now. But at some point, usually after about an hour, I start having delightful pain in my knee and I have to get up and be a wiggle worm and move around. Probably because I'm sitting here talking. I'm not noticing it as much. But what else is growing on where you are? I don't know. I don't know. I know Jack is in 9B or 10 or 10A, right? Michelle said, I know Stephen's in Indiana. I know Kay, if I get this right, I think you're in 7 or 8, zone 7 or 8. Stephen, I think, is in zone 7 or 8. So if I didn't get that right, put it, 9A. Michelle's in Alabama. That's great. 9A. So you're kind of like us. Now, you're still in 9B too. Okay. So I am north 9B and you're south 9B then too. One of the other things I was going to show you all, because as I am getting things done, I think when I go live, I'm just going to share some of the other projects that I've worked on that maybe did or did not get a video. And so So far in April, here's some of what I've been able to do. We talked about the sunflower seed. Well, they were put in a little before April. Yeah, the week before April, but we have sunflowers popping up. And we talked about the spiderwort. I'm just letting the spiderwort take over this bed along with the sunflowers. It's in the same bed. And so we're just going to have a whole bunch of flowers up underneath the persimmon tree. And then I was so excited because my plum that I thought I killed when I tried to torch the torpedo grass, it's blooming now. And this peach tree is finally blooming. I have a second peach tree in the yard that is finally blooming. And lo and behold, the tabby bua, I'm going to slide over to show you the name. There should be a T right here. The tabby bua umbellata yellow trumpet tree is finally blooming. We planted that 2 seasons ago. We protected it for 2 seasons, and it has not been well cared for. But we finally have yellow flowers, which kind of makes sense, right? You know, you're 1, 2, 3 when you're transplanting. The first is 1 for the money, 2 for the road, and 3 to get ready, and 4 to show, or something like that. But there's some little saying that somebody says. And so we're very excited to have these glowing. And I have a project coming up on that. And then we worked on dragon fruit today, my wife and I together. And we've got some kind of a little fungus or something happening on the dragon fruit. So we cut all of the bad bits off and got it all trimmed up, and I thought it looked pretty good. And then I got it fertilized up, and then we got them covered up with some nice straw here. If you all watched the video where I did the straw, this is garden straw. I bought it from Mega Greenhouse Superstore, I think it is. It is not completely seedless though, because I'm already plucking out of the other bed. I'm already plucking up some wheat grass out of the bed, but still it's not bad. And I just want to give this a try and see how it does with straw. I know a lot of other people are using straw in their gardens, and I just want to see, but it's nice to have this sort of cleaned up, and we've never been very consistent with fertilizing these. And so hopefully this year we will get some good results from that. And there's all the debris that we cut away off of these. So that is what's growing on in the meadow during this past week, the first week of April. Let's see where everybody is. So Michelle's in 9A, 9B, 9A in Arizona, but 9A in Arizona, a very different climate than 9A in Alabama. Right. And then Stephen is 6A or 6B. Yeah, it just depends. I keep thinking I'm still 9A. I used to be 9A, but now I'm 9B. And so it is interesting to think about, like, Stephen, have you started seeds indoors yet? I'm sure you have. You're starting things indoors because you're not quite warm enough to start putting stuff out yet. So, but it's so different in the I think about these kind of things because I'm kind of nerdy, but I was reading in a permaculture group. I was trying to figure out when I was going to cut back the bananas, because I think I told you guys on the last live that I was going to cut the bananas back in February, because our last frost date is February 15th. And so I noticed in one of the permaculture groups I'm in that someone in Central Florida said they don't cut theirs back till mid-March because of their frost date. And I thought it was really strange. I haven't pulled it up on a map yet, but the way they're talking, even though I'm further north, maybe because I'm closer to the coast and they're more in the center of the state, that their last frost date is after mine. So I got to dig in and do a little more research on that. But it's just kind of hilarious, the different climates and how different it can be. And even in my own yard, I talk about microclimates a lot because these little details fascinate me. And so we have bananas planted on the far side of the house, and I planted the small bananas in the back side of the banana circle, the small plants, and the tall ones over here. Well, they get the morning sun coming this way, but then once the sun is overhead, these little bananas are shaded out. And I have, in the same time that we've probably had 7 or 8 different bananas grow on the tall bananas. We've only had one time on the other bananas. And so I think that they're missing a lot of that afternoon heat that they may really need to get productive. And so we will see. We will see. I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at you, Stephen. I'll tell you why I'm laughing in a second. Unfortunately, this year we started earlier than last, so we have tomatoes and cucumbers with blossoms already on them. Now, I've always heard you just pluck those off so that they don't keep doing that, right? You want to get those blossoms off of there before they get transplanted, or when you transplant them, take them off. So that does happen indoors. Geeky Gardens, who is Jack, as the crow flies, you're probably about 100-ish miles south of me. He says his last frost date was 2 to 3 years ago. Yeah, we did not have the super hard frost this year, but I did wait until mid-March to cut back the bananas, and I'm really glad I did, because we had some colder weather and it finished off some of the banana tops. And so I'm really glad that instead of cutting it too soon, even though it looked ugly, I hate how ugly it looks. I really do. That's the worst part to me, is waiting for winter to be over so my bananas can be beautiful, and they're looking great now, but it's like very frustrating. I don't like how they look. I almost wish I could just cover them up. I know the rest of my yard has some craziness about it. I don't care about any of that. I just want the bananas to be pretty. So, Michelle said, oh, that's interesting. Michelle, who is in 9A in Alabama, has a cold front coming through and it's raining. Tomorrow, the high is 60 and back to the 70s. And it was 88 here today at 3 p.m., 88 degrees. So it'll be interesting as this weather moves through to see what happens this week with everything. So, well, my friends, this has been, let's see what Kim said here. Sorry. We had some frost mid-February, but it's only too much later, and we're expecting 100 degrees within the week. Yeah, it's crazy. The weather is crazy. And you just kind of have to hedge your bets. I have not been very good at succession planting or overplanting so that I would have more if something happened. But I'm going to keep getting better at this. I am still not an expert gardener. I don't know when you ever become an expert gardener, because there's always something new to learn. There's always something to understand about the weather. I want a weather station. Like you have, Jack, so that I can keep long-term data, because I can't seem to keep up with it on my own. But I want some long-term data for the yard. But one of the very best things that I bought for the garden, it was $5 or $6, is an Accurite rain gauge. It just tells a huge difference for me. And now I know if I have to water, like I walk out we had a rain the day before, if I walk out to the rain gauge, I go see how much rain did we get. And I know it's not perfect, but it's pretty good, And so last Sunday it rained and misted and sprinkled and a few burst all day. I mean, all day, or 9 or 10 hours. There was only one time that it rained hard enough that the back patio actually looked like it had been raining more than a few sprinkles. So the next morning when I went out to see, because it had rained all day, we had 100% chance of rain. We had just under half an inch of rain. And so that is not enough for the garden beds to start really soaking stuff in. And so I know if I have this rain gauge, I just go look at it every morning if we've had rain the night before. And then I know whether I need to water or not. And that is super helpful to me. And it just seems like a small thing, but that has made a big difference for me in understanding how to make sure I'm getting things watered properly. So 32 tomorrow for Stephen, and a cold snap right before Easter for Michelle. And so, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this weather plays out. I think we're into our hot weather now. I think we're into our hot weather, depending on what this system that is coming from west to east is. I saw that. I know there's been a lot of, I hope everybody is okay from the tornadoes and stuff. I don't know if we have any folks who watch or who get on the lives who are from the Tennessee area. I hope everybody there is okay. It's just terrible watching this very extreme weather conditions. That's very hard, very hard. And I'm very sad to see those things happen. So, well, guys, I think it's time for me to go take a walk on my leg, take a walk on the leg side and exercise this knee a little bit. I am so grateful that you all took the time to hang out with me here on the live tonight. I love being able to share all the imperfections of the Meadow. This has been the best side hustle I have probably ever had. I would love for this to be, honestly, I mean, I have a full-time job. Um, but I would love for this to make me have to think about having a full-time job. That'd be kind of fun. Though I think it would be stressful. I think it would be stressful having all of your income depend on algorithms and fans. So I don't know. I don't know. You'd have to reach a certain pretty good point in order to make that happen, but it is pretty cool. I'm excited to be here with you. Everybody, y'all have a great week. I hope that you have a lot of fun. And remember, my friends, to drink plenty of water, wear that high quality sunscreen, and have a fantastic night. Thanks so much, everybody. Good night.